We danced. Footsteps aren't an uncommon thing to hear when you're sitting in a basement, so I think nothing of it. When I hear quiet thuds coming from my upstairs hallway, I just assume it's my brother and continue doing whatever pointless little thing I was doing at the time. They go on for another couple of minutes, and I'm starting to get pissed off. They just keep getting louder and louder, and I sigh, wondering what the hell my brother's doing this late at night. I sit there, because it's impossible to focus with the record. I mean, it sounds like someone's power walking all over my main floor. I sit there and listen as the thumps get faster and wilder. They just keep moving, almost starting to form a rhythm. They move even faster and get even wilder, and they're thumping all over my main floor. I realize that whatever this is, it can't be human. No human can move like that. What the hell? I finally yell. After that, all the noises stop. Everything is quiet for a moment, and then I hear calm, slow footsteps moving to my basement door. The door is pushed open, and the footsteps stop again. I listen to my breathing for the next 3 minutes, then sigh, thinking it's over. Turns out something else was listening too. Suddenly, I hear it thudding down the stairs, and I knock over my chair in haste to get up. I start to run towards the nearest closet, just in time to see a grotesque, hairless, four-legged creature dancing towards me, tapping its swollen feet in an intoxicating rhythm. I dive into the closet and slam the door shut. There's a half-second pause, and then I hear the same rhythm on the door. It just keeps going and going. No pause, no rest, no relief. He's been at it for hours now, and I find myself tapping my fingers along with his song. But then, just as suddenly as it began, it ends. I wait for a few moments, then look out. He's gone. I flip on a light and fall into my chair. It's safe. I relax and think for a few moments. But then, I notice my foot tapping. Maybe the song isn't so bad. I almost feel like I could dance to it. So I drop down on my hands and feet, and I start. The doll. Sit down. Let me tell you a story. You see, when I was younger, there was this old doll. My mom had it ever since she was a child. She gave it to me when I was about 5 years old. I hated that doll. It freaked me out. Now, about 2 years after I had the doll, I woke up to see it staring almost directly in my eyes, smiling. I just couldn't take it. I had to do something about it. So I did. When it was early in the morning, dawn, and the fireplace lit, I'd thrown the doll in the fiery pits of hell it came from. One thing, it just wouldn't burn. I sat there, just cheering, but nothing happened. I just saw the smile on the doll get wider and wider as it burned. Just, no! It couldn't be. The doll just mocked me. And the smile. It drooped, and it finally burned into small ashes. A few years later, when I was 15, I sat by that same fireplace, thinking about that one dreadful night. All of a sudden, I heard a crash from my parents' bedroom, and a scream. I rushed to see what the hell had gone on. I dreaded to see both of my parents dead in a pool of their own blood on the floor. I kneel over to what was left of my mother and father, to see a doll standing over me. No, it couldn't be. It was the doll. Charred, still smiling. That same damn smile. It was wild. got wider. As it stared into my eyes, I couldn't help but smile back. I was just happy. I glanced at my parents. Forget about them, I thought to myself. So I grabbed the doll, walk outside, and I do so. Jeff, the killer. Excerpt from a local newspaper. Ominous killer, unknown. Still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous, unknown killer is still on the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story. I had a bad dream and woke up in the middle of the night, says the boy. I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to get back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in a little ray of light illuminating between my curtains, were a pair of 2 eyes. These weren't regular eyes, they were dark, ominous eyes. They were bordered in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there watching me. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said only in a way a madman could speak. He said, "Go to sleep." I let out a scream, and that's what he said at me. He pulled up a knife, aiming at my heart. He jumped on top of my bed, and I fought him back. I kicked, I punched, I rolled around just trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw a knife, and it went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out to see him vanish into the distance. I can tell you one thing. I'll never forget that face, those cold, evil eyes, and that psychotic smile. It will never leave my head. Police are still on the look for the man. If you see anyone that fits the description in this story, please contact your local police department.